Right now, multiple states are about to send out a tax rebate check. But for what? And who's going to get it? Well, we're going to talk about that in today's video because there are actually several states that are sending money back to their residents. And the reason? Because they have a surplus of taxes. They have additional money that they need to give back to their residents because they have actually overspent. The residents, not the state. The state is collecting too much money, so they have a surplus. And that's what we're going to discuss in today's video. Also, at the end of this video, I want to explain the scams that are going on right now that are trying to find vulnerable people and pretty much give them a lifeline or help, if you will, to try to get their stimulus check. There's no stimulus check. There's no check from the federal government yet, but states are sending the money. That's where people are getting tricked, and I'll address that in just a moment. But first, if you enjoy these daily updates, go ahead, hit that like button, and now let's begin. Look at this. First state says 2025 Virginia tax rebate checks are coming soon. Well, here's what you need to know, okay? It says right here, there is some good news, good tax news for those in the Old Dominion state. Virginia will again offer one-time tax rebates to residents in 2025. This continues the Commonwealth's practice of returning surplus funds directly to taxpayers as a form of financial relief. We see this in many states that they have a little bit of a surplus, so they give that money back. For Virginia, it's coming back as a tax rebate. In some states, it goes back as a property tax rebate, or they just call it pretty much a bonus for filing your state taxes. Really, it's just a tax rebate. That's all it is. It says right here, during a presentation regarding the 2025 budget, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin said of the Commonwealth's fiscal health, "My friends, there is no reason to raise taxes on Virginians. We are running surplus after surplus after surplus." So Virginia is doing something right. I want to show you what you're looking at right here, though. It says that here's the summary of the 2025 rebate details. Single filers get up to $200. Your filing deadline is November 3rd. The payment window will be sometime between July 1st and October 1st. Okay? Joint filer, you get up to $400. Again, your filing deadline's by November 3rd, but you get the money between July 1st and October 15th. So, same thing. So, just know if you live in Virginia, there is some money, potentially $400 for a couple. Look at this one. It says, when will I get my Georgia refund? Up to $500 going in some wallets as surplus tax refund. Well, let's look at that. It says on September 15th, Governor Brian Kemp signed the HB 112 offering a one-time tax credit, also known as the Georgia Surplus Tax Refund. During the signing, Kemp said he's looking forward to putting money back where it belongs, in the pockets of hardworking Georgians. Okay, how much is Georgia surplus? How much is the tax refund? It says depending on your filing status and tax liability, you may receive up to $250 if you're single, married filing separately, $375 if you're head of household, and $500 if you're married filing together. Okay, who's eligible? Well, if you meet these criteria, you're eligible. File for individual income tax refund or return for tax year 2023 and tax year 2024 by May 1st. Okay. You also had a tax liability for tax year 2023. Simply means you're required to pay taxes in 2023. It doesn't give a specific amount. You have to be a Georgia resident or a part-time resident or non-resident. Okay. So simply if you paid in, you should get some money back. Good news there. Here's the next one. I've talked about this several times. New York is going to be sending its first ever inflation refund checks to taxpayers. Now, we see this quite a bit lately. It's a inflation refund check. It's a tax rebate. All it is the state has a little bit excess money, and they're just going to give back to the residents because who better to spend the money than the residents in that state? Why would you not want to give it back? That's exactly what some people are thinking is going to happen as far as the Trump administration's tariff policy, because reciprocal tariffs are currently being questioned by the Supreme Court, or will be questioned and brought up in November. So we'll see what happens there. But if that money, the reciprocal tariffs, are deemed unlawful, that money, those hundreds of billions of dollars, are going to go back. But do they go back to the importer on record, which that's what most people are anticipating, or do they go back to the American people who, again, paid that money? That's what some people are asking. It should go back to the American people. Well, I do want to explain how much people are going to get right here. You see it. So this is the chart. Single right here, as long as you make less than $75,000, you will get $200. You make between $75,000 and $150,000, get $150. Married, making less than $150,000, you get $400. If you're married, you make between $150,000 and $300,000, you get $300. Okay, and you can kind of see the whole list right there, and that is coming out pretty much as we speak. Now, I want to get to a key part, a scam. It says consumer alert. Watch out for inflation refund check scams. These scams are popping up all over the place. You see them in your email, you see them on different websites, you're seeing them through text message. That's the concern. I want to read this to you. It says right here, New York State is set to send out inflation refund checks to millions of residents, but a scam text is circulating that claims recipients need to take action to receive the money. That is not the case. It doesn't matter if you're in Virginia, Georgia, New York. It doesn't matter if you're living in another state that's sending out additional checks. And again, some states are. Some cities and counties are as well. If these text messages are coming out there, the cities, the counties, and the states are not sending out a text message. They're just not. Okay? In some of these cases, you don't have to do anything. The money will just go right to your bank account, which you either paid for or the one that's linked to the way you pay your taxes. That's where the money's going to go. You don't have to do anything. Look at this. It says right here, an overnight nurse and her coworkers all got the same text scam. She shared that the text initially appeared legitimate, but several red flags emerged upon closer inspection. You can see it right here. Okay? This is the text message. Okay, interesting. And then right here, after she clicks that, here you go. Tax year 2024, status approved, refund amount, perfect. Method of refund, direct deposit, credit card, debit card. Okay, card number, yeah, okay. It says the state typically does not send text. The message came from a number with a 63 area code, which is from the Philippines. Recipients should never enter bank account information through a link in a text without verifying the source. The text also included a time-sensitive request, which is another warning sign. Now, I've said this before, okay? If you see if there's a text message, gives you a phone number, if you get an email, if somebody calls you and says, hey, this is what's happening, and they want you to call them back, they give you a number, okay? They already have you online, but let's say you want to check into something and they give you the phone number. Don't believe what you see, don't believe what you hear. If you get a text message, you don't know who it's from, just delete it. Simple enough. Okay, you're not going to get a text from the state. All right? It's the same thing that goes for like all those tolls, like the toll roads. Right? It's a scam. Don't fall for it. Okay? Right now, there's only a handful of states that are sending out any type of refund check. The federal government is not doing this. So just understand, if you receive some of these text messages, they're not legit. They're going to try to scam you in some way, take your bank account information, and then they'll spend your money. Don't let them do that. All right? But those are the states that are currently sending out some money for tax rebates and inflation refunds. So if you live in one of those states, good for you. You will get something back. And if you don't, well, just be prepared, because other states are going to start doing the same thing. There's a lot of states that are currently discussing it, potentially going to pass something like this, within Congress. So we'll see. But just understand, it takes a little bit of time. So as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get them. As of today, that is what we know. So thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.